Welcome back to Viewer's Voice. For this episode, I'm going to speak on whether or not people are innately good or innately evil. And this episode is partially suggested by one of my friends, Sarah, as she believes that people tend to be more selfish, which is true. But I'm also incorporate some of what I said in the last video about nature and nurture and how that can impact how people naturally are. Now, I personally believe obviously it's both. Obviously you're born with a little bit of good and evil. Like as humans we do make selfish decisions or even justify our selfish decisions with just being human and how we tend to feel. And in some degree it obviously makes sense. But it also shouldn't be a reason to just do certain things and have our character, our own appearance and whatever kind of justify the actions that we make. But I do believe that most people obviously do have a good nature or maybe once had a good nature. And for that, it's like you tend to want to do good things. You may not always do good things, but the want to do it is there. However, sometimes you may feel like you can't survive without doing something for yourself, or maybe you've done too many things for the people. Now it's your time to give back to what you deserve, and it all differs from person to person. But I do truly believe that majority of people are innately good and want to do good, but it's just that nurture aspect. Putting different situations into your life that can sway you in a different direction. So you may have had a good heart or have really great good tendencies. However, your experiences, the things that you've encountered may have changed the tide a little bit. And I feel like that's something that can be changed back to how it was in the first place. Or like I said, due to the whole nature aspect, that could be something that you just inherit. Maybe you and your family or whatever, your surroundings, maybe you all are just a bunch of selfish people. Or due to your nature, that's been pushed upon you. Or you're nurtured. Maybe you've been surrounded by a bunch of people that only do things for themselves, and you figure that there's no point in trying to help them out. All they care about is just dumb. And I mean, people make self decisions all the time. Even if you don't view it as selfish, and maybe it's slightly a selfish decision. If you're only doing it for your gain, your own benefit, and that's it. Or let's say this. Let's say your friend told you some really great news. Maybe they just landed a great, huge job opportunity. Maybe they just got into a relationship that they've been longing for a while now. Maybe they just finally got this trip booked to wherever their dream vacation, right? And as their friend, they're telling you this, just to listen to them, feel great for them, get a little bit of appreciation about validation, whatever. Right? They're trying to share the good news with you. However, you flip the script so that you get the appreciation and validation from them instead, where their good news, what they just told you, you want to reap the benefits from it instead, right? They just told you about their significant other, and now you're trying to one up them or whatever, make them feel inferior to the things that you have to say instead. And a lot of this selfish nature is something that is very common. People tending to only do things if they do benefit from it, or those exact selfish people kind of put their selfish tendencies upon others or shame those that do things in a selfless manner. Like, let's say I'm in a predicament where someone needs help, and maybe the help that they need is something that is going to cost me my time and effort or maybe my own personal resources. But however, I'm not thinking about it like that. I'm not thinking about what I'm losing, but instead I'm thinking about what they can gain from this, that they need my help. And if the roles were reversed, that they may help me with the same exact care and all that. Now, depending on the person, that could seem a little bit naive. Not everyone's not built with the same character that you have. However, if someone wants to do something out of the kindness of their heart, let them do it. Unless they're unless they're getting taken advantage of or whatever, then it's like if they want to do something, let them do it. Because there's not many people out there that are willing to do things out of the kindness of their heart. Instead, if someone else is put in this position where the person I'm referring to needed help, then instead of just helping them free of charge, whatever, with care and everything, they would just be like, "Oh, what's that for me?" Or after all this, I'm gonna need to get paid or like something of the sort. Whereas it's like, bro, understand that not everything needs to have compensation at the end of it, just for you to want to do it. Because not everything in your life leads to compensation. You getting up, brushing your teeth, you're not getting paid for that. You're doing good for yourself. You're doing good for your hygiene. However, when someone else needs to benefit from you now, there needs to be compensation because you don't help other people for free. And that shows the kind of character that you have. And I understand sometimes it isn't just being selfish. Sometimes you really do need this. And you aren't in a position where you can just do things for free for the people. Or maybe you've been doing things for free for the people for a lot of time now. So where it's like you need to make up for lost time. I understand that. But that's not how a lot of people are. A lot of people are just simply, if I'm doing this for you, I need compensation. No ifing and their butts. There's nothing to it. Just I need to be paid after this, or you like what's in it for me at the end of all this. Otherwise, it's not getting done. You're not getting my help, and for that, that's not something that's right to do. And for that, those people, like I said, they may be born innately evil, but like I said, majority of people, I don't believe it's just something that just consumes you from birth, but rather over time. I believe that most people tend to be good. Because obviously, like when we were children, it's like if someone wanted to play with us, we weren't just gonna deny a good time, a time to have fun, a time to play around and be kids. Because that's not how we viewed it. We didn't view it based on who they are, where they came from, what they look like, whatever. We just see it as another kid that wants to play, have fun, and we're gonna enjoy the time that we have with that person. Whereas when we get older, that may change. We may not be as willing to play with just anyone, of course. Maybe we judge them on either background, what they look like, whatever. And like I said, that could be due to the experiences. Now as you're older, you've experienced a lot more and you have a lot of different judgments for the people. But despite all of that, I don't believe it's something that's just like that at birth. I believe it's something that tends to be swayed. And I understand that a lot of times nowadays, you may need to lean on a little bit of your selfish side at times. Otherwise, you can easily be taken advantage of. Because those people that have good hearts or continue to do the good tendencies that they do, some people will see that and just try to use that for their own benefit. Understanding that this person is just willing to just do whatever out of the kindness of their heart, well then let me see how much I can get them to do for me. And the problem with that is, obviously it's very manipulative of a person, taking advantage of their good character for their own benefit. But even then, it's sad because what that does is that pushes someone who's done nothing wrong to begin with to start to have the same selfish character that you do. And knowing that it's taking its toll and its effect on you, why would you want that to be passed on to someone else? Maybe you're just looking out for them. Yeah, you figure that, oh, you see the same way I took advantage of you. Anyone can do that. This is exactly why you gotta do things for yourself, blah, blah, blah. No. Because you took advantage of them for your own benefit. Not everyone just gonna up and do that. Not everyone just gonna see people as tools and resources that they could gain from, but instead people that sometimes are willing to do good things. Now, of course, you can't just walk around and just trust that everyone has a good heart. I'm not saying to do that, but what I'm saying is, if you're the type of person that does tend to be selfish, look for things that aren't just centered around you more often. Do things that aren't just centered around you more often. And yeah, even for people that do tend to do selfless things, understand that there can be unnecessary consequences for them. Right? Even if there are things that you shouldn't have to pay for, some people just aren't as, good-hearted as you can be. So understand that not everyone just gonna be as, nice to you as you are to them, or helpful to you as you are to them. So it's very important to just watch the amount of time, effort, and resources you give other people. Because at some point you have to leave some for yourself and do things for yourself, but just don't make it a habit of doing it for yourself all the time. Because that's how things get corrupted and become imperfect, because society does it all the time. where most things just tend to be selfish and just centered around what they can benefit from. Even if it looks like it's to benefit someone else, it's probably just to benefit them at the end of the day. Think about this. Think about like if you're raising a fundraiser for a cause and you need some people to help out. Now, some people that might help out are just willing to do it because they support this cause, they support what you're doing, they support the fundraiser. Whereas, let's say there's a guy named Billy, right? And he's going because his crush is gonna be there or something like that. Now it's like he's not doing it for the cause. He's not doing it for the fundraiser. He's doing it to get closer to the person he wants to get close to. And therefore, you're taking away from all the good things that you're trying to do because being replaced by the selfish tendency that you have that overrules everything else. But I'm going to say that's going to be all for this video. I thank you all for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next one.